We've followed the fast-moving river, which has tumbled down the mountainside. Let's set the Terravator down at this small clearing to gather some data. Gravity's effect on the water here is very strong. It moves swiftly and has lots of energy, which it can use to move those large boulders down the valley. What should we examine first in this rocky river valley? The walls of the valley are very steep-sided, and the river is full of large boulders. Why is that? The river may be breaking off boulders and moving them during floods. Today, the water is rough, but people are having fun rafting on the water. The water is running quickly over ledges of rock below, creating rapids. Fast-moving water has a greater ability to move larger rocks than slow-moving water. Water can move sediment downstream in a number of ways. Stones or grains of rock can bounce along the stream bottom, along with the current. Water has the ability to pick up grains of sediment completely and push them downstream. Streams like this weather rocks by bashing them together. When they break, they form smaller and smaller grains. Single boulders can result in tens of thousands of grains of sand, eventually. Large rivers have more water, and therefore are capable of moving more sediment than small rivers. Fast rivers can transport larger sediment than slow ones, however. The sediment here contains a mixture of large and small bits of rock. There are large boulders and in between some finer materials. Types of sediment are named after the size of the individual bits, called grains. Boulders are the largest sediment type. They occur when very large rocks are weathered from nearby mountains and are rolled or carried downstream in floods. Boulders are often so large only major floods can move them very far. Cobbles and pebbles are medium-sized stones. Cobbles and pebbles are sometimes together called gravel and are common building materials for roads and in concrete. Cobbles and pebbles often roll down the river during periods of higher water flow and can move and form gravel bars during floods. Sand is made up of coarse but small grains of rock composed of finer particles of rocks and minerals. It is coarse enough to be gritty to the touch, but finer than pebbles. It's coarser than silts or clays. Sand bounces down the riverbed and commonly piles up in accumulations called sandbars in slower moving parts of the river. Sand can also be carried far downriver, even as far as the ocean, where it might form a beach. Silt is a fine-grained sediment that's finer than sand, but coarser than clay. Silt is a major component of soils and is fine enough to stay flowing suspended in rivers, even when they're flowing more slowly. Clay is the finest of all sediments and remains suspended in water the longest. Clays are often sticky and hard to get moving, but once moving and in the water, clay takes a long time to settle out. Clays can travel for a long, long way down a river. Mountain valleys are full of rocks being weathered by ice, water, and even wind. Boulders have broken loose after frost wedging and gravity pulled them from the canyon's walls. They roll down and pile up at the base of the cliffs, waiting for floods to move them into the stream. The walls of the mountain valley are rocky and steep, not gentle, so the water flows rapidly down the slopes. Streams here move fast. The fast water rolls boulders into the stream and downstream, where they begin to break apart. Over time, the breakdown of these boulders, by physical and chemical weathering, is a major source of sediment in the river. Erosion is the movement of sediment from one place to another. The size of the sediment that can move increases as the speed and depth of the water increases too. So large rivers that flow swiftly can move very large boulders, while small rivers that flow slowly can only move the smallest of sediment. Erosion can occur through the effects of water, as we see here, but fine sediment can also be moved by the wind. Ice, such as in our glacier, can move sediment as well, often depositing large fields of giant boulders. Erosion is one of the most important processes at work on shaping the surface of the earth. Large boulders moving around can really change the landscape. Piles of boulders could reroute the flow of a river. They can cut down into the landscape like a saw blade.